Emanuel Steward claims he can turn Lennox Lewis into, quote, the greatest heavyweight champion of all time. Let's listen to more of what both of them have to say about that.
You're blowing it now, son. You're blowing it.
He's not doing what we trained to do. Otherwise, don't come back to this fucking corner. Do you hear me?
Communication in the corner between a boxer and his trainer is often the difference between winning and losing in close fights. But finding the right chemistry is no exact science. For Lennox Lewis and Emanuel Steward, their connection is a work in rapid progress.
It's like when you walk into a place and you meet somebody and you start speaking to that person, but it's like you've known this person all your life. That's the chemistry between me and Emanuel Steward.
I believe that the chemistry between Lennox and I is going to make a big difference, and that's something that is so important.
But how has that chemistry developed? Why have Lennox Lewis and Emanuel Steward responded to each other?
I felt that he needed a real good, strong person that he could respect, because he's a strong-minded individual himself. And a normal, weak person would not be able to handle Lennox, though, because he's very, very strong-minded, very opinionated. That if he respects someone else, it makes a big difference. You control his whole body. There you go. Now you're taking advantage of it.
The former heavyweight champion's respect for his new trainer was evident a year ago when first they began working together. Steward, who had been in Oliver McCall's corner the night Lewis lost his title to McCall, didn't wait to begin criticizing his new pupil.
At that stage, he was a very still emotionally not completely stable person. His last fight he had lost. It was the first time he'd ever lost in his life, too, as a professional fighter. And he lost by knockout. I pinpointed his biggest weakness was his balance and his stiffness. And he said, I agree. And what can we do to change it? So that was one of the first things that really impressed me about his willingness to learn and to change and accept his weak points. I think that was the biggest factor in beginning to work with him.
The improvement Steward has helped Lewis to make in both balance and stability was most visible in the last of their 3 straight wins together. A 6th-round stoppage of Tommy Morrison last October.
I think in the Tommy Morrison fight, Lennox Lewis came out and showed a lot more confidence and a take-control type mentality in the fight that he had not in the past shown.
You put this talent together with real knowledge, and you've really got something.
They got to bust him up real good with the left hand.
This is the best Lewis we've seen in a while. Much more measured, less wild, better footwork.
Much better footwork.
With that commanding performance, Lewis produced not only a victory in the ring, but also some proof that Steward's instruction was beginning to work. The trainer's exceptional skills were never in doubt, but the fighter's ability and willingness to listen and learn were.
There's no problem between me and Emanuel Steward now, and I don't think there will be, because we have that communication.
I always discuss things with him. He's an exceptionally intelligent person, and he and I are really, I would say, mentally on the same wavelength as far as things in boxing like that. I see something that's wrong or whatever, I usually will stop in his room, and he'll say right away, he said, I know what you ought to talk about, because it's been bothering me too.
Especially when Emanuel's not there and I'm working out by myself, I still visualize him training me and some of the things that he would say I needed to be doing. Mentally, I would look at myself from the outside and see what I'm doing wrong.
Together, Lennox Lewis and Emanuel Steward appear to have embraced a sound formula for success. How long the chemistry lasts, and whether it's strong enough to carry them back to a heavyweight title, is yet to be determined.
We've talked about Ray Mercer's performance against Evander Holyfield. Even though he lost the bout, it was regarded as a sharp turnaround in his career, particularly because of the way he performed in the first 6 rounds of the fight. This action from round 4 shows you how active and how dominant Mercer was in the early rounds against Holyfield when he was piling up points. But then he tired, lost his focus, was ultimately put on the deck by Holyfield, first man to knock Mercer down, and Mercer didn't win a round among the last 6 in that fight, as Holyfield was able to pound out a unanimous decision. There's Mercer's record in his last 6 fights.
For a fighter who never really made any great impact on the heavyweight division, he's had a number of really very interesting milestones along the way. The first guy to stop Tommy Morrison's rise to stardom. Then he loses to Larry Holmes. And then he has that disaster against Jesse Ferguson here in the Garden a few years ago when he came in way out of shape and blew an opportunity to make $1 million for the next set-up fight against Riddick Bowe. Somehow he's become a little bit of a force in the division by what he does.
And the record for Ray Mercer, 23 wins, 3 losses, a draw, 16 KOs, regarded as a very tough guy. He's never been knocked out, won his Olympic gold medal in the heavyweight division. He was Riddick Bowe's roommate in Seoul and one class up from him in super heavyweight. Of course, Bowe made it to the final against this guy, Lennox Lewis, who at that time fought for Canada. Now, of course, he calls himself a son of Great Britain. And the Morrison performance was generally regarded as Lewis's best showing since he knocked out Razor Ruddock Halloween night 1992 in London.
Not so much because he won the fight, but because in the fashion that he did it.
Lewis has been winning big victories in court across the river in New Jersey, where judges are saying over and over that Mike Tyson must face Lewis rather than to fight WBA champion Bruce Seldon in his next fight. But Lewis himself acknowledges that part of the challenge here tonight is to keep his mind off of that, off the prospect of a potential Tyson fight, and focus on the business of Ray Mercer. Lennox Lewis's record, 28 wins, the 1 loss to Oliver McCall in a very quick, and some would say political stoppage. Personally, I would say that. 24 KOs for Lewis. And of course, he won that 88 Olympic gold medal in the super heavy.
To obey these rules. Let's have a nice clean fight. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
His cultural and country alignments throughout his life, be it Jamaica or the Canadian national team. And
jab, because if he tried to have a high percentage of jabs, it probably wouldn't work for him.
Comes in well behind the jab, 2 right hands upstairs, went downstairs with a right hand to the body.
Say to himself, wow, this guy is very strong.
Let him know he's in a fight, like he did with that right hand, and then a left hand scored, and now putting that head right into the chest of Lewis while he swings with lefts and rights.
See,
good right hand for Mercer.
Right. Oh.
Another right hand comes in. Crowd on its feet.
Back on him, like Lennox lands, then Ray lands.
Oh, how about that combination? He went right to the body, right uppercut on the inside. There's the same combination. It starts with that body shot and then turns into the uppercut. And a right hand from Lennox Lewis.
Good shot.
So Lewis off to a good start. Now here comes Mercer with a couple of right hands.
If he doesn't, he could let that big lead go. So there he goes.
Fired off the uppercut again. It missed again. Mercer fires off 2, 3 uppercuts of his own. Now fires back with a series of left and rights. Ray Mercer just walking forward, taking it right to Lennox Lewis.
He's blowing the rounds.
Uppercut by Lewis. Body shot with the left hand. Mercer comes back. 4th round between Lennox Lewis and Ray Mercer. Now, the cut lip is something that is not new to Ray Mercer. He told
it would be a very pivotal round because they finished up with like a Hagler-Hearns type of thing. So definitely Lennox, and then the 5th, was back and forth, but I'll give it to Lennox. So 3-2.
Good combination from Lennox Lewis. Very nice work with the right hand. He tested. That was something that Tommy Morrison learned the hard way last October. And now Mercer once again getting right into that kitchen and firing it up. Lefts and rights, a couple of right hands actually backed up Lennox Lewis.
But, after a round like that, they couldn't help it. But, Mercer's holding a little bit more on the inside. Well, now he's not.
Well, not at all.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, it was a couple of right hands that sparked things for Ray Mercer. But as you talked about, fighting in spots, picking that burst, if he could just be a little more consistent instead of letting opportunity. And now let's see if Lennox Lewis can finish up strong. Looks good. Nice combination. Couple of right hands went to the body, and probably enough to take the round for Lennox.
Step back.
Scheduled for only 10. No belt on the line here tonight at Madison Square Garden. Mercer now finding a little something early on. So, as we enter the deeper water, still some new hurdles to overcome for Lennox Lewis.
I think fatigue is probably setting in.
Uppercut on the inside from Lewis. There's a nice right hand from Lennox Lewis here in straight, coming off a very impressive knockout win of Tommy Morrison, where he placed many right hands like that.
For Ray. So there's no disputing that. But the next ones I had for Lennox, I happened to have for Lennox. But there was a couple in there that could have went the win right from the start.
That's it. They go the distance. Both men raise their hands.
The scorecards. Melvina Lathan scores the bout 95 even. Luis Rivera scores the bout 96-95. George Colon scores the bout 96-94. For the winner on a split decision, Lennox.
A majority decision win for Lennox Lewis.